Alright, I got this great killer idea. It's called Mickey Mouse. You see, what I'm going to do with Mickey Mouse is I'm going to make him. You see, he's going to be a Christian mouse. And he's going to hate Jews, especially. And I'm going to have a duck as well. What do you think of that, kid?
What about dogs?
Well, like a goofy dog? Yeah, we'll call him Goofy Dog. Yeah, we'll call him that.
It's very creative.
Thank you. Anything else got for me, kid? Oh, come on, anything in this moment. Come
A
on.
princess with 7 midgets?
Put 7 minutes. Oh yeah, I like that. So like seven
Like an
dwarf.
orgy?
Yeah. I like it. Like an orgy. Yeah. People love orgies.
Okay,
What about...
we've overdone it.
Done a discussion.
Hi everybody, welcome back. My name's Guy, BW.
And I'm the other guy, Ron, Zed.
Yeah. So we're here today to pitch you some wonderful film ideas for Disney princess spin-offs, sequels, prequels,
Potentially
anything,
prequels.
Anything really, realistically, so long as it's terrible.
Because let's be honest, Hollywood's gonna make it eventually anyway. We're just gonna spare them the work.
Yeah. Also, this is kind of us actually pitching something kind of please hire us. We don't care if we have to make terrible films. Like,
Give us money.
let's start off with the obvious one. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. What if it was just the Seven Dwarfs?
That would be cool.
It'd be like a buddy comedy, but with 7 buddies.
Yeah. That's basically it, yeah.
Basically
there you
it, yeah. And them finding a unconscious girl in the woods at the very end of the film.
Oh, like just basically like the whole like thing from their perspective.
Yeah. And
That would be cool.
Yeah.
But no, plot twist, it's a different princess. I don't know. Hang
They
on.
find Rapunzel just sleeping one day in like the tower, and they're like, and then when she finally wakes up, she's like, "How did you guys get in?" The door was open. we just walked in. Or they're like, "We're dwarfs. We mind shit. We just mind you
And
out."
then one day a prince comes up to her tower and he goes, Rapunzel, please let down your hair. And she goes, not right now. I'm kind
Why?
of busy.
Or alternatively,
And then he goes like,
it's all white hair, and then he climbs up. It's just one of the dwarves' beards.
yeah. And then he goes like, oh, there's like 7 dwarves in here. What are you doing? And then the guy like, what dwarves do best? Cooking, cleaning.
Basically, just manual. They're
moaning.
slaves.
Yeah.
Also, I guess on a more serious note, one I had thought of, which would be kind of cool, would be the making of the mirror from Snow White.
I think it's Snow White. Yeah.
And like obviously, if some people know the mirror on the wall, who's the first. That's not how the line apparently is. Apparently, it goes something else. But I don't know
what
it.
Oh,
Not gonna fucking bother to find out what it is. We'll put it like here. Or something.
because it's probably in German or something.
Yeah, it probably is. I think it would just be a cool thing to see, like, and it doesn't even have to be the witch or the queen of the evil queen who has it initially. It could be made by some other wizard or witch or whatever, and then it just consumes people and turns people into something evil, and that could be something interesting, because if the witch at the very beginning of Snow White is meant to be good, and then the mirror just warps her mind, I think there's a lot of potential there to make the mirror. Like, to make you go back, watch the original Snow White film, and just go, fuck, this mirror is more sinister than I could fucking imagine. It could be, like, really dark and shit. But I think the mirror has a lot of potential. And that could even be the title of the film. The Mirror. Probably not. Probably something else. But anyway, into other more comedic ones, what else do we have?
Let's see. Maybe a genie spin-off film, you know?
Yeah.
Or maybe a prequel, like all the people that he was with, like before Aladdin.
Yeah, and then the film could end with him meeting Aladdin. Like, I think we even discussed it. Like, it had great potential.
Yeah,
For
where
like a really dark ending.
yeah, where like the entire film he was with someone like Aladdin, but then in the end, the guy doesn't wish for his freedom, even though he promised to do so, and then he's stuck in the lamp again, because I think in Aladdin, Genie explicitly says that he's been promised so many times by his owners that they would wish for his freedom, and then it didn't happen. So maybe something like that would be pretty cool to see. Maybe kind of a more serious film, but obviously it's Genie, so it will be funny.
I think it would be quite comedic throughout, or have very comedic elements, and then it would end on a twist that kind of broke people's hearts, I guess, in a sense. And I think that's the thing. You kind of would expect it to end that way. Like, you kind of sit there throughout the film going, you know it's going to end that way, but because even sometimes, even knowing the ending doesn't mean it's going to be bad. Like, it can still be good. Like, that's like with, I guess in a weird way with Revenge of the Sith, despite being part of a terrible trilogy, like you knew how it would end. You knew
Yeah.
Darth Vader would be there, but it's still heartbreaking to watch Anakin
Yeah.
turn. You know, it's because you don't want him to.
But hey, here's a good Disney prequel.
Yeah.
It's called Pod Racing.
Fuck, I shouldn't have thought of Star Wars and Disney. Oh my god, pod racing film. What a pod racing, a Star Wars story. Could you imagine?
Directed by Ryan Johnson.
Oh no, no.
Everything you've come to expect about pod racing is just over.
It's done so differently. Just to be fair, this is the one time I wouldn't mind him ruining someone's childhood, because I think pod racing is something worth ruining, because it's already bad to start with. Despite the fact that that scene was cool, it was part of a shit film, and it couldn't redeem the film.
Yeah.
So, let's be honest. It just
They could have made it more interesting, because that's, I think, like the one scene in the film that doesn't have music. Maybe that's like the one scene in the film that needed
it has
music.
some music, but it isn't accompanied by a score. It's just music's played throughout for dramatic.
Oh no,
tension,
it should have
but-
had the score. Like that's the one scene in the entire film that needed the score, except for obviously the ending,
Yeah,
because
all of it. But pod racing. God, idea. God.
Well, that's what we're here to pitch, isn't it?
Yeah.
Here's an idea: a film about Yoda. Just Yoda.
People want that for some reason.
But
God.
like, here's the thing,
it's
right?
a fucking terrible idea.
He's a 900-year-old creature. Like I can't even confirm if he's a man or not, because let's be honest, who really knows? But he's 900 years old at the time where he dies. So there's like, I don't know, like 800 years to pick from.
But I feel like it's just the problem. Like, people want films about cool characters that have had cool scenes. So people were sold on Yoda after Revenge of the Sith with his cool fight, not after Return of the Jedi. And that kind of bothered me, because I thought Return of the Jedi showcased some more emotional side of him, whereas Revenge of the Sith just showed him doing a bunch of cool flips. But like, people are like, oh, dude, could you imagine like a Yoda prequel in his prime? Oh my god, man, it would have been so cool. I'd be like, no, it would have been god awful, because it probably would have been styled like George Lucas's bullshit, which is just all cool fights and no story, no substance.
You know, it would be a better film, a film about his cousin Yaddle. You know,
Are they cousins?
yeah,
Holy shit, didn't know that. Oh yeah.
of course they are. They're like the two people of that species in the entire universe. Of course, they're cousins.
And she was in it in Star Wars for like one scene.
And the funny thing is, Yaddle is exactly the same as Yoda as well, except that he talks normally and has fucking weird hair,
Yeah.
like a fucking Elvis hairdo.
Yeah. So I think obviously people want an Obi-Wan spin-off, and that's one of the very few I support. Boba Fett, fucking no.
I
No.
I agree with Obi-Wan, but it has to be between the episode 3 and 4.
Yeah,
Because that would be like the most interesting time for him.
I think so too. I think
Boba Fett could potentially work if it's like after he escapes the Sarlacc pit.
if that's even the direction they're going with, because they are doing a Boba Fett spin-off. But who knows what direction? I mean,
whatever.
we don't know anything about it yet. We haven't even. Obviously, we won't know anything.
Is it going to be Fett, a Star Wars story?
Oh god! Just name it after Slave One. Slave One, the Star Wars story. That would be such
That
a
would be
that
cool.
would be a better title. Like Millennium Falcon, a Star Wars. That would have been a cool title.
Yeah, instead it's
so-
Solo, a Star Wars solo film. Do you mean it's a film about Solo, or is it a standalone film?
It's a standalone solo film. It's both. That's not needlessly
God,
complicated.
what the hell is that?
Yeah.
Who named this film? Ron Howard?
Actually,
Damn,
having
man.
said that, let's think of a few other like Disney Star Wars. But I would like to see a Revan, and actually more than I'd like to see a Bane film.
Yeah, yeah, I
The
agree.
founding of the Rule of Two would be fucking interesting to see.
Yeah,
The-
you know, imagine like seeing a bunch of Sith Lords just killing each other.
And then Bane and Zana just emerging from the rubble with the Rule of Two, and her killing him in the end, and kind of fulfilling the idea that the Rule of Two works. That she,
Yeah.
I think if they did a movie, obviously they would change quite a few things. I think the way it would be cool to end is at the very end, it's 3 Sith left. It's Bane, Zana, and someone else. And Bane tells Zana to kill him, and she then tells the other guy, "Fuck off." Why? Because I need to handle this. She's found her apprentice. She's now going to kill her master to become the master.
Yeah.
That would be a really good ending.
But
It'd be
you know, the
fucking
idea
awesome.
is that they're supposed to betray the master by killing them, and like the whole idea behind it is amazing as well. Which is, if the apprentice can destroy the master, that means that the apprentice is stronger than the master ever was.
Yeah.
So that means that the newest one will always be stronger than the previous one until they're But the funny thing is, because of the prequels, there's a hole in it. Because Darth Plagueis is meant to be like the strongest Sith Lord that ever was.
Yeah.
He trained Palpatine. Palpatine killed him. But Palpatine is not able to do half the things that Plagueis is able to do.
I think Palpatine changed the ideas of the Sith once again. He was like Plagueis. People say Palpatine is like the perfection of the rule of two. I say no. He's the new.
No,
rule.
He's the one who fucked it up because he had so many apprentices.
He's the rule of one.
Essentially,
that he will be the sole ruler, and his philosophy is he'll find a way to live forever, so he can constantly rule. But he proved that the Sith don't survive through master and apprentice. They survive through the Sith just being more cunning and more manipulative than anyone else.
Yeah.
And he proves this by killing his master in his sleep. And oddly enough, I think in some ways it proves him that he is the best Sith there is, because he defeats a more powerful opponent.
In a way, yeah.
And the thing is, it proves that he's the Plagueis. I think in power is more powerful, but in terms of just in terms of sophistication, cunningness, manipulation, Sidious is more powerful. In that sense. He's better at doing it. He's better manipulator.
But think about this as well. Like with the apprentices, is Darth Maul was killed by Obi-Wan, or not really. I think they ended up fighting.
No, in the end, he is killed by Obi-Wan and Star Wars Rebels.
Of course he was still. But basically, he was seemingly killed by Obi-Wan. So he took Count Dooku as his apprentice.
Yeah.
But then Count Dooku was killed by Anakin in front of Palpatine, and he did nothing to stop this.
Yeah.
So he just decided, you know what, he's defeated, fair enough, he's not worthy of being my apprentice
anymore. To be fair, the reason why it's hard to understand is because George Lucas just fucking destroyed the idea of good continuity and good filmmaking and consistency of a plot. Is that Palpatine's plan was to always have Anakin as his apprentice. The moment he found out about him, it was always his goal.
Because he's the strongest.
Because he's
predetermined to be the strongest Jedi there ever is.
Yeah, when Sidious found Anakin, he discovered that there's someone predetermined to be the most powerful Force being, to be more powerful than Plagueis ever was. That was the point.
Which kind of was the case.
Kind of was the case. Anakin had that raw power. He just never had the experience to be able to use it properly. If Anakin had, and once his limbs were gone, any potential was gone.
Yeah.
To be the most powerful one ever. If he had kept his limbs, well, at least 3 of them.
To be fair, Darth Vader was pretty fucking strong.
Oh yeah, Darth Vader was still strong, but he was just never a threat to Sidious's rule.
Which is hilarious because that's exactly
what happened in the end. Yeah, it was the one.
That's pretty great.
Yeah, and I think the thing is, in the end, if the prequels had done a better job with showcasing the fact that Sidious wanted Anakin, because I think the problem was, George Lucas made the mistake of he's trying to keep Palpatine in the shadows, even from the audience, even because I didn't know as a kid watching it that the Palpatine was Sidious. Everyone else did. As a kid, I had no clue. Because I was stupid.
I kind of didn't, but that was because I watched them in order of the episodes rather than the order of when they came out, which is an interesting experience.
I didn't, but I was still a stupid kid, so I had no idea. I wanted the cool fights. That's all I cared about.
For me, it was an interesting experience because it was a whole journey from worst film to the best film to a good film.
If he had been able to clearly showcase that Sidious was interested in Anakin, and fuck the shadows, no one in the Star Wars canon universe knows that Palpatine is Sidious. He should just started out the audience going, yes, the audience knows that Palpatine is Sidious. Instead of having him with have scenes in episode 1 and 2 where it's just him alone, either with Maul or Dooku, and he has the hood off and everything. That way we know it's him. I think it would have just been it would have benefited with having scenes of him watching Anakin going.
Yeah, I guess.
And even perhaps him trying to teach him a little bit, saying, there are these ancient texts and there this stuff. Having him suggest to Anakin there's more to learn than you know.
Then again, that's the thing as well, is I'm happy that they really only pursued the story in Revenge of the Sith, because if they did earlier, maybe he would have accidentally given himself away. Whereas in the Revenge of the Sith, after Dooku was killed, I think he was seeing Anakin's frustration with the Jedi Order, and I think that's when he thought to himself,
Now's my time.
Now is my time.
Yeah.
And then even at some point, Anakin acknowledges that he realizes that he's a Sith Lord.
You're the Sith Lord.
And then he goes yeah, but am I really a bad person?
To be fair, no, because there was the scene before that where it was Sidious quite blatantly says, "Did you ever hear of the story of Darth Plagueis the Wise?"
Yeah.
No. You mean the one Sith where no Jedi knows exists? The most recent Sith? Yes. No, never heard of him. Well, how do you know this in the Jedi don't? Well, I don't know. The semantics.
I know, it's okay.
Are you his apprentice? No.
Dude, no.
That was
Whoa.
bad. That was bad writing. Once again on George Lucas.
That's yeah.
Anakin was a retard. Let's be honest. If it had been scenes like that through episodes 1 and 2 with him going, oh, you know, there are these teachings that I've heard about, you know, because the Sith texts are... But, I mean, still, like, it doesn't have to be that many. It could have been one in each film. And it would have been enough for people to go, okay, maybe there's something there.
Maybe.
And then, because he quite blatantly in the end goes, I could show you the ways of the dark side. And Anakin finally goes, oh, you're the Sith because you can teach me this stuff. And we're looking for the only guy who can, and you seem to be the only guy who can, so it has to be you.
Yep, okay.
Basically, Sidious goes, I'm the Sith. But I didn't know.
Yeah.
Why do I want you as my prince? Why? Actually, you know...
Maybe...
Yoda seems to be more clued in. Maybe he's a better option. Yoda, do you want to be my apprentice?
No!
Damn.
A Jedi I am. Sith Lord you are. Destroy you I will.
God, just...
Oh, man.
It takes with basically Palpatine going, I'm the Sith, for Anakin to figure out that he's the Sith. I mean, come on.
To be fair, if it was Dave Filoni writing the whole thing, then yeah, it would have been better.
Yeah.
But instead, no, we only got the Clone Wars from him, and Rebels, I suppose.
I mean, we should probably head back to the Disney Princesses stuff. But
of course.
It would have been better if the prequels had been done that way. But I think, as we said, a Bane spin-off, a Revan one, would be good to see. I think Bane probably more so would be more relevant.
Yeah.
The Royal Two and the Sith. I think there may possibly one day be a Snoke film because maybe.
Do you know what?
Maybe,
at this
no
point,
knows.
okay, let's be honest. The turn where the Last Jedi went, at this point, do you know what? You're not gonna give us an origin for Snoke. Fine, I don't want it. I don't want to know. At this point, if you're not gonna tell me, I don't want to know.
Yeah.
If you are going to do a Snoke film, that's literally just because you know that people will watch and it's going to be a massive cash grab and probably not even that good.
Yeah.
Because clearly there's not that much to tell about
I think
him.
one film I'd like to see more is perhaps a Knights of Ren story.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool.
That would be cool.
And
I'd watch
also,
that.
I would perhaps like to see, like, I think obviously the Rogue One scene with Vader fucking destroying all the rebels kind of sold everyone on it. And I think Star Wars fans would blatantly go, we know this is a cash grab. We just want a Darth Vader movie.
Yeah,
now.
just do that. Vader, Star Wars story.
Yeah. I think even, you know, if any character where you just have the name, either Vader or Skywalker works.
Yeah.
Vader, a Star Wars story. Skywalker, because it works as a title. If you had a Princess Leia film, it would be better if it was like Last Princess of Alderaan, a Star Wars story. I actually thought of that. Like, if they ever did it, that has to be the title. Because it is a good title. Leia, Star Wars, or Organa, that doesn't work.
I mean, the Star Wars title, Star Wars story's title shouldn't be too long. I mean,
But
Dawn
still,
of Discussion, the Star Wars story.
But still, Last Princess of Alderaan. It's a good title.
Yeah, but
I know it's long, but guys, there have been fucking longer titles.
in Star Wars,
Probably not, but there have been longer titles in films before.
yeah.
What about this Star Wars Revenge of the Sith Episode 3? I mean, come on!
Maybe, yeah.
There you go!
Maybe, yeah. I mean, we still...
I mean, obviously we just need to call it Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith, but still, that's the full title of the film. You wouldn't call it Last Princess of Alderaan Star Wars Story, you'd either call it Last Princess of Alderaan. That's really what they would call it, but
that would be cool.
no one ever... Because no one calls it Rogue One of Star Wars Stories, people just call it Rogue One.
No, exactly. Fair enough.
So,
Right.
anyway, back
Before
onto
we
the
go to the break, just a quick a last thing for LucasArts. Indiana Jones 5 starring Chris Pratt. Not gonna happen, but we'll like to see it. You know,
Yeah.
the thing is, right? Chris Pratt has reached that age at this point, right? Where if you're gonna do an Indiana Jones film starring him, it's just gonna be the same kind of time period as Harrison Ford when he was Indiana Jones in the 80s.
Yeah.
So at this point, I feel like if they were going to do that, fine, I'll watch it. I'll probably love it, but it feels kind of redundant.
But
So
you
there
put
we
up
go.
with it either way.
Today's sponsor. Do you want to do this one?
Have
Let's
you
go.
ever wondered whether guns were a useful tool for self-defense? Well, we have the organization for you. We're calling it the European Gun Association, or EGA. Sign up now.
I'll sign up for that. It doesn't cost any money. It costs a lot of money, actually.
Because guns in the hands of everyone is a good idea. Because if your government wants to,
protect you.
If you want to protect yourself from the government, just like our intelligent friends across the pond, this is the association for you.
It's really expensive. It's like
Yeah.
£500 for the gun.
Yeah.
And then like 1,000 for
And
license.
because we're in Europe, gun laws are far stricter, so it's actually much more difficult.
Maybe £20 per bullet.
I mean, obviously, this association reaches every country in Europe, but at the same time, it doesn't guarantee to get a gun. If you live in the UK, you're not getting a gun.
No.
Sorry about that. We'll give you a discount to a country that does so.
Yeah, but like 1%.
Yeah.
Because if you use the code DOD EGA.
Also, please note that if you do sign up, I'm near me will probably go and watch this. There we go. All right, moving on.
That's our sponsor.
That's our sponsor.
Anyway, some fan submitted questions.
All right, that was good.
That's all the questions we have time for today.
For.
If you want to send questions, please send them to us on Facebook, on our Facebook page, or in our email. downofdisc@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, moving on. Next, prequels and spin-offs and just whatever. What other Disney things?
Tell you what, I'd like to know. I would like to see a Beast film from Belle and the Beast.
Oh yeah,
Just a Beast
that
film.
sounds like a great idea. Just
I mean,
people
people will-
around the castle reading books.
I will tell you, people will get confused with the Marvel character, but I mean Beast, the prince. From his transformation
It'd probably
of
be like
prince.
Disney's
Disney's
story, The Beast.
Yeah,
Actually, just any film from the prince's perspective.
because that would be
Prince Charming.
that would be cool.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, like with these kind of things, you have like the kind of fear that it might be like a Shrek thing.
Yeah.
But like it would be cool to have like a Prince pub, kind of thing where they like hang out and
they're trying to figure out who gets which princess. Yeah.
and they go.
Not at all meant to be sexist. Bear in mind these are set in
Yeah.
medieval times. Of course, they're going to be like that.
They hang out at the pub, and at some point one of the princes comes in, and he's like the president. They're like, "Ah, cheer up, chum. What's up?" And he's like, it was total bust. Like the girl that I wanted, she's fucking asleep." And they're like, why is that supposed to stop you?"
And then they're like, "Oh, but sure, there's a way to wake up." It's like, "Yeah, if I kiss her," it's like, "Why don't you kiss her?" "Well, it's not consent, so I can't do
Yeah.
it." She'd sue me. The moment I do it.
Jiminy Crickets, man.
Shucks, man. I went to this girl and I asked her to let down her golden locks so I could climb up, and she said no. Yeah. Life's tough, man, for us. Yeah, for us princes. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd watch that. I'd star in it.
Yeah.
That would be hilarious.
What
to do.
about a Mulan film, but from Mushu's perspective? Like a prequel.
Well, like a prequel for Mushu. That would be cool.
That would be funny. I actually would watch that.
That's
It'd
like
be-
the only Eddie Murphy type prequel I would actually watch in an
Yeah.
animated film.
Yeah. What about just a donkey film?
Nah,
No,
I
that
don't
would
know.
never work, would it?
I mean, the thing is, people they would do it eventually. I'm sure they would, but we know his origin. We're happy.
Yeah. Donkey is purely supporting character, while Puss in Boots is as well. He's still a deep enough character to have his own film because no one knows his origin. So
And with Donkey, it's fairly obvious. Like,
we knew where he came from.
He had a friend that he lived with.
Yeah, he was a farmer and sold him.
He wanted to sell him because he's a magical creature because he can talk, and that's literally it. There's not
Maleficent kind of paved the way for this concept, like films from the villain's point of view, where they're not evil, they're just misunderstood. I feel like the Snow White one would be more difficult to do. To try and make that
the Seven Dwarves, or the Mirror one.
No, just one where it is from the Queen's point of view and she's not evil.
Yeah, but
that would be almost impossible because she is just evil.
Yeah. I think that's why the Mirror film would work really well.
Because also if anyone misunderstands my concept, obviously it doesn't have to be the same as anyone else's. My concept is that the witch or the queen or whatever her name is in that film is not even in it. She gets the mirror at the end, in my mind, and that creatively is how I view it. But obviously people will be different. Like, oh, why would you take out the queen? Well, if you don't want to, then you can say your idea has the queen in it. Mine doesn't.
We're not pissing on your little fanfic or whatever, Yeah. So don't
Bear in
piss
mind,
on
I am
ours.
a writer, so this is an actual concept for a film.
There you go.
Which I'll probably never write because I'm not a Disney princess person kind of person to make films like that. But who knows? Maybe one day if Disney asks me and they're like, "Hey, do you want to make a Disney princess film with any
No
kind?"
objection.
I wouldn't object to it. I'd be like, "Here's my idea." It will not be for family. It will not be a kids film. I'd have to stress that out with just saying this is going to
That's
be.
fine.
This would be an adult film because it's got a very serious underlining talk. But anyway, moving on.
Moving on.
What other potential Disney films?
See, now I'm thinking, could we have like a prequel to any Disney film that could be ultra violent? Just for the fun of it, you know?
You probably could, or just ultra violent, because the Little Mermaid, in the original fairy tale, it's fucking depressing, man. Ariel comes ashore, she loses her voice, and everything, and she ends up committing suicide.
Damn.
Yeah, it's fucking dark stuff. And also at the very end of the Snow White stuff, when they
Sleeping Beauty, probably.
Sleeping Beauty. I can't remember which. Yeah, I think it was Sleeping Beauty, where at the very end the witch has iron shoes placed on her, and she's forced to dance for their amusement.
Huh.
And iron iron's her kryptonite essentially. It's poison to her.
That I didn't know.
And it's fucking, that ending is brutal when you think, because it's not even just that. It's where she's forced to wear iron shoes and dance on hot fiery surfaces, so it's boiling. It's fucking disgusting stuff. The original fairy tale stuff, it's not.
Well,
for
not
kids.
just that, but Sleeping Beauty originally didn't get kissed awake. She got pretty rudely awakened by a really hard rape session.
Yeah. People forget that the Disney stuff is really toned down for family audiences. It is not that light in the original fairy tale stuff.
It really isn't.
Pocahontas, I think, ends up committing suicide. Not Pocahontas, Mulan.
Dude, Pocahontas is like a whole story apart.
Yeah, all these stories have terrible, sad endings.
Oh yeah.
I think we also did another concept, Finding My Wife. So
with Nemo or
Finding
Nemo.
Nemo.
Yeah.
Nemo's father finds his wife, and they start dating and stuff, and it ends with them having kids and her dying, and then finding Nemo. So we come up with some really weird shit. We're not gonna lie.
Prequel to Up.
Down.
Oh man, that's not even what I was gonna suggest, but that worked.
Because his wife died and he goes down.
Where you just basically after
We are
the
bad
funeral,
people.
after the funeral, when they are about to
It's all downhill.
put in the dirt, he's like, no, it's fine, leave it open, I'll do it, and then he just proceeds to find really heavy stuff to put on top of the grave, so it goes down further into the ground.
Oh my god! The hashtag for the tagline would be "It's all downhill."
Oh man.
Oh my god! I'm so glad I got that title.
I'm so glad I mentioned Up. We're completely off script again.
I'm gonna pitch that to people now. I mean,
Oh yeah,
guys,
same
got
here.
ideal. A prequel for Up. What is it? Down. Just people will just give me the most guy, fuck off.
Oh man, because I was actually suggest doing a film about that adventurer guy and how he got to that place at some point.
Could still be down.
Still be down.
Because he goes down and he never goes.
Or he keeps losing fuel and and his dogs are oh,
he
yeah,
starts with
what am I going to do?
He starts with 5,000 dogs. He ends up with 50 at the very end. And I was like, what happens to all the dogs? He's like, he eats them all.
Cannibalism.
Yeah.
Dog cannibalism.
Oh my god.
Dogs gotta eat too. How else are they gonna survive?
My god, that's brilliant. Disney.
See, I knew we could come up with something brutally violent. This is it.
All right.
Man.
Or what about a horror version of Monsters Inc., where they're not scaring kids, they're kidnapping them and then turning them into fuel. It's basically a Holocaust movie in blunt fashion.
I'd watch that.
I don't think kids would.
No.
But it wouldn't be called Monsters Inc. It would be called Monsters.
Monsters Camp.
Yeah,
Monsters Camp is a little bit more subtle.
Yeah, more subtle. That way you trick the kids into going to see it and they're going, Mommy, why are they going into that giant oven? Let's leave. This was not what I was expecting. I thought it'd be like just actually.
This took a really dark turn.
Oh my god! Could you imagine? Because you would trick people. Monsters Camp. People like, oh, it's like Monsters Inc. But like at like a summer camp or something. I'm like, yeah,
basically.
sure.
Or like more like an all-year camp.
Yeah, an all-year education kind of camp. Then they go and see it, and afterwards they're just kids are going, and the parents are. Don't take your kid to see the film.
It got really dark, really quick.
No, just imagine like if you're a kid and like when the first one came out, then you see the new one, you go home and like you're going to your parents for the weekend, and you get home and your parents are like, so how is the Monsters Camp film? You just go. It just. I feel
like I've learned something that I shouldn't have learned.
When people actually finally say #ruin my childhood, it would actually literally be ruined this time.
It would be this.
Because something you loved is just
gone, dead. I can imagine as well, like
you would never watch the Monsters.
You know, the CEO of Monsters Inc. would have this tiniest little mustache as well, and they're like, "Wow, this is not so at all. This is just really bad."
It's still done the same animation as well. It's not live action or anything.
Like they've actually animated the mustache as well.
And he's German as well. He's like
he has like a slight German accent, but like he's really
and
nice.
Like
for
his
the
name
film.
is similar to Adolf Hitler's.
And
it's like Admin Hitler.
Yeah.
Admin Himmler.
And
Admin
like-
Himmler.
And like at the end of the film as well, like his assistant comes up to him and he's like, "Sir, it appears that the children have escaped," and he just goes.
I know, and it ends like just like Downfall when it's like the crab guy is like taking charge. It's like
Catch these kids and bring them back to me. It's worth mentioning at this point that it's okay to make these jokes because I'm Jewish.
I'm not, but I'm still. Fuck.
But he's Australian, which is close enough.
Yeah. I think Down is the highlight of this episode. Let's be honest. Down
is the highlight.
Down is brilliant. My God.
Oh, I can imagine as well where he just goes like, "We don't have enough fuel, and we don't have enough food, so for your survival, you will have to eat each other."
For your survival, now you will fight for my amusement. And he's just eating another dog while he says that.
See, that's basically the Hunger Games, but much more intense. Because it's dogs.
Eating. People love dogs, man. People hate humans. People hate people. People love dogs.
Exactly.
People hate this film.
Kids killing each other. Try fucking canines killing each other. And then, obviously, like, Doug, the dog, is one of them as well. Or is his name Doug?
Yeah, I think it's Doug, or Dog.
So he escapes from that as well. But, like, prematurely. Because he jumps out or whatever.
Yeah, and then you could get, like, the Dachshund or whatever the breed of dog is. And I've just thought of one. Lord of the Flies with an all-female cast. Oh wait, they're already doing that. Hollywood is doing our job for us.
Lord of the Flies is not Disney though.
It's not, but they're making a Lord of the Flies film with an all-female cast now. Yeah, I know, it doesn't make sense. Well, it does, but it doesn't. What are they gonna do? Solve all the problems by talking about their feelings?
Are we?
No. I can't think.
I think we've gone through
Down is just it's
unsurpassable.
You can't get better than Down. Oh God, genius.
I'm trying to think. Tarzan, maybe the Jungle Book. It's not. It's just not really.
Nothing beats it. Let's be honest.
It's not gonna beat it. No. I mean, I will say, Monsters Camp is a bit far.
No, that's a stretch too far because
it's a bit much.
That would actually ruin people's childhood. Whereas this kind of film, it wouldn't ruin people's childhoods. It would just be funny, and it would be a failure. Let's be honest, it wouldn't be a success, but it'd be interesting. Pardon me.
Yeah, I think the bottom line is these films just have to be more violent.
Yeah. Violence equals viewers. You could just imagine, like, it'd be like the classic, like, 1980s, like, picture, like, more people like this. People love sex. Put sex. You know that rape scene in Snow White, whatever it is. You know, we'll put that in. Yeah, people love sex. And what else? Lots of violence. People love violence. People will
violence,
put big battles in. Just put
lots of blood.
Violent blood. Yeah. Make it, kid. Yeah, you go. I'll give you $50 million. Go make it right now.
Sir, people love drugs.
And drugs. Plenty of drugs. Opium for everyone.
Should we put drugs in Disney movies?
Yeah. Now that could be a sketch, like just a sleazy producer greenlighting all these terrible ideas. And like he's clearly backwards thinkers, like, hey sugar doll, hey sugar tits, and like everyone's modern though, and they're just like, this is clearly inappropriate. They're like, this is just that will not be good.
Does
film.
HR know you're working here? Just check in.
Isn't like it's like in a Disney executive office, and like he's just sitting there, and just like the person leans over, is like, who is this guy? I don't know. He just walked in. I don't know why these are terrible ideas, but I really think we should make them. I know he's a really good pitcher. He's just
so charismatic.
He's just so charismatic and such confidence.
He just knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, listen, we'll make all these films. Ah, shit! Really didn't think it would work. Anyway, see you around, doll face, and just then walks out, and everyone's like, what fucking just happened? It's just.
They just go like, what's his name? Walt. He's hired.
Walt.
Not just that. We'll name the company after him. Also, no Jews. And walks away. It's like,
Monsters.
I think Monsters Camp is approved at this point.
It would be approved, but it'd be I don't think Monsters Inc. is a Disney film though. It's a Pixar. But still, they would make it. They'd make their version.
Now.
No, they'd make their version.
Probably.
Just shit all over the original. But anyway.
On that
episode.
Horrible anti-Semitism that for some reason we're condoning apparently now.
Well, we're not. Please don't listen to this. Please don't take anything away from this. We're moving on.
It's time to end this episode before we say more horrible things.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for watching.
I really need to take a shit. That's another horrible thing.
It is a horrible thing.
Anyway. Yeah.
Thank you, and tune in next time when we
discuss what if scenarios.
What if scenarios? What if certain people didn't do certain films? That would be interesting.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of Jewish people involved, so keep watching. Cool, we'll cut there.
Yeah.
That took a really dark turn. I love it. I think it's absolutely.
That was brilliant.
I think this may be one of the best episodes we've done.
I think oddly enough, because it was difficult to think of them in the end, and then just from out of nowhere.
Oh man, I just thought at some point we just said they have to be brutally violent. That's when things got really good.
I'll never get.
We're not gonna top that. Oh, there's like 7 dwarves in here. What are you doing? And then the guy like, what dwarves do best? Cooking. Cleaning.
Basically just manual. They're
moaning.
slaves. They're slaves.
Yeah.
So
we want to keep our potential YouTube money in there. We're not gonna say 7 dwarves, 1 girl. You know.
Well, now you just did, so people know that. How about this? Okay, I got one for you. How about like a talk show or like a podcast? Kids call it and like it's just people talking, and like we'll call it Donald Discussion.
Will it be about comics?
Be about anything you want.
Can it be about midget orgies?
Sure. I'm gonna go put my head in a jar and survive forever, and then I'll be revived in a few hundred years, and people will never see me coming again.
That sounds like a Futurama episode.
Probably is. Name's Walt Disney.